Okay, so here we are with Todd Garber, baseball coach. How long did you coach, Todd?
I coached 20 years, 1 year as a volunteer, and then 4 years as an assistant, and then 15 as head coach.
That's amazing. You had quite a record. And first of all, congratulations on the induction to the Lampeter-Strasburg Athletic Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
What are your thoughts on that?
One of the things that I want kids to, instill in kids as they come through our program is, I just want them to be able to respect the game and play it the right way and give all you got and leave it all out in the field. That night was a tribute to me, but I made it a tribute to everybody that helped along the way and made the program what it is. I just felt like, the way I respected the game as I coached and was here for the kids in the community and so on, it just seemed to pay back, and it did that night. So
it's great. Okay, here we are at the field, and I noticed this. This is kind of like your work center, off-field stuff. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
This is where we have team meetings during practice, after practice. It's one of the stations in our hitting rotation. It's a place to honor our past players that played in college, that played pro. Mm-hmm. It's a place where our dads will come up and hang out when it gets cold, or even when it's not cold, to watch the game. But this is our press box. This is our clubhouse. And it's a special place for all the players here.
I noticed some of the teaching tools. Can you tell me a little bit about like things like this? This baseball with numbers and letters on it?
It's a dynamic vision instrument that allows us to focus on moving objects. Sometimes we'll be moving, sometimes the ball will be moving, sometimes we'll hit something against the ball as it's moving while we're reading the letters.
Interesting. And so the idea is to pick up the letter as if you would like to spin on a ball or something.
Correct.
Okay, good. And this is the same thing. This little this device here that spins, and you pick up a letter. Or something?
This device will move and spins, and we'll stand at different distances away, and then we'll read different lines and circles. They typically work in partners to correct them to make sure that they're saying it correctly. But again,
nice.
It's the rotation of the ball that we're trying to pick up on and developing the muscles within the eye.
I noticed a big screen TV. You look at a lot of game footage.
We look at game footage, swings. We have analysis of different swings on the wall for instructional purposes. Mm-hmm. We also use this to videotape our games for our parents and,
nice.
and for us to look back upon. And then we use it as a dynamic station where we look straight ahead, and then we are to touch the ball as it comes up with our peripheral vision. So we're learning how to use and our perception and our side vision.
That's interesting. I've never seen that. This wall here called the Pride at LS. Tell me a little bit about these are three important rules.
It basically gets the kids to understand that for them to perform well, they have to be under control. They have to be able to control their mind, their body. They can't control what's necessary around them, but they can control how they react to it. And it's just part of teaching the process of the game, not focusing on the wins and losses, but focusing on the process and how they can get better.
Okay, so last year was the first year you did not coach. What was it like? Withdrawal pains?
It was definitely hard at first. I hate to say that I'm out of, I'm not coaching anymore. I'm not coaching baseball anymore, but, I've taken the opportunity to coach some of my girls' sports and make sure I'm there on the sideline. So it's been a little bit of an adjustment being just a fan at times. But my daughter's in 9th grade, played varsity softball. I got an opportunity to go to those games and share those moments with her. So definitely hard at first stepping away and not being out here. And it's still hard at times, but the joy that I get working with the girls and getting to see my daughters and be with my family more is worth it.
Coach Garber, you've had an amazing track record as an assistant early on, and then as the head coach. Something like 250 wins, 14 section titles, 2 state championships, and a trip to the finals in 2012. How do you, what do you attribute that to? I mean, that's an amazing baseball record.
Well, I see this is not just a baseball team, it's a program, and it's a program from youth kids on up to kids and parents that, have had kids and have played in our program. So it's one of those things that we focus a lot on the youth program, and we focus on coaches clinics, we focus on youth camps, clinics, as much as we can to give back, to have our players get back to younger players. It's one thing to coach the game at a higher level, but to be able to get our hands in early with kids and teach them basically the same thing, trying to get our coaches to teach the same thing at every level. That consistency is so important. Having our young kids, interact with the kids that have won state championships, that have won, section championships and so on. It's not if we're going to win another state championship, it's when, and it's just that type of environment is great for our kids to develop in.
Oh, that's great. As I look around the field, I notice that you have dugouts, you have an electric scoreboard, you have awards to past players, you have beautiful stands, and this just doesn't happen overnight, especially in a sport like baseball that does not drive revenue. It doesn't produce a lot of revenue. How do you have such a great facility for such a small school?
One of the things is my first year as head coach, we came up with a program, a proposal. It has 15 to 20 different things that we wanted on our field. We went and took pictures all around the county, the state. We drew up drawings, we got quotes, and it kind of gave us a blueprint of what we wanted. And it's kind of interesting, my last year, with the help of many community people and boosters and Steve Shank specifically, the bleachers were put in, and that was kind of the last piece of the puzzle. But we've had great booster presence from Don Frank to Tim Bianchi to Jerry Sheehan to Chuck Haley, Shane Miller. So we've had great people involved. One of the things is these parents that have coached these kids all the way up through, they look for something to get involved in once they can't coach them anymore, and just our booster program's so strong and works so well with us directly, and they look for projects and things to make our community, make our field, and make our players better.
Thanks. Tell me about the other programs in the league that you have come in contact with.
Well, two programs stick out right away. It's just because the coaches are good friends of mine. We actually played against each other at one time. So Manheim Township, Bill Sassman, I think he does a great job with facility-wise, program-wise, how he scouts and plays the game and does those things. So I really admire him for what he does there. Adrian Shelley, it's just I really admire how he gets involved with his youth program and how he's developed his kids throughout his program and so on. So those are two guys that stick out right away, two programs. Also, I have to give a shout out to Chris Keel too, because he's a player that was a great LS player, and then now he's making his mark at Lancaster Catholic. He's turned that program into a consistent winner and just state quality players. So I'm just real proud of how he's turned that program around and consistently wins and is developing a lot of good things going on over there.
That's great. Thanks. Okay, like any good program, you've had players go on to play in college, and some in the minor leagues, and some actually in the major leagues. When you have those kinds of players, is it easy to determine early on that they're very special, or tell us about that concept as a coach?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, ability. You look at those kids and they always have ability, but they have something more. I mean, they have that expectation of being successful at the next level. They have that work ethic. They have the attitude that this is just a stepping stone for them, and it's great to coach those kind of kids because they do all the little things and they put the time in and so on. So it's definitely something you can see early, and it's something that's great to work with, and it's just once it snowballs a little bit. So usually those types of players come in groups because they push each other and they continue to challenge each other. So yeah, you can definitely see that. I've had the opportunity to scout baseball, and I'm still into scouting, and one of the things you look at is this guy really believe he can be a major league player, and we've had a kid or two through here that's had that kind of belief, and it's really nice.
It's got to make you feel good to turn on the TV and see Jeff Bianchi playing with the Brewers, huh?
Yeah. Jeff has earned a lot of respect from people around here and across the country, and he deserves it. He's a great individual. He has a great work ethic and just a special person. His faith and being able to bounce back from some of the injuries he's had and so on. So we appreciate all he does. He comes back and works with our players. He talks at youth camps. He does all kinds of things to give back. He gives things to them, things that like batting gloves and so on. So it's really nice for him to come back, and the kids really admire him for everything he's done.
That's great to hear.